Hey, hey. Hello, everybody. Thumbs up if you can hear me. It looks like you can. It looks like everything's working. Hey, Santa Almost Fire. Hey, Goose. Hey, Unitopia. Did I get that right today? Ruth Carroll. Hey, SD. Kitten on the keys. Miss H. Barbara Jean. Hot tea drinker. Good to see y'all. Did I already say hi to you, Miss H? How's it going? Hey, Wheezy. Hey, Sunny D. Y'all, it's 10 o'clock my time. I've been up since 5. And I'm like, okay. Next thing I know, it's 9:30. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, I've got to get my act together here. Hopefully today's going to go smooth. I have faith that it will. Let's hope that it will. Hey, Camping Mama. How are you? All right. You can just call me Skynet. I will. Unitopia, I'll go back and forth, right? I'll be like, hey, Skynet. And then in my mind, I'm like, Unitopia? Hey, Donna. Sitting in your hubby's room post-surgery. He's doing pretty good. Going home later. That's good to hear. I hope everything's good. Good to hear, Donna. Give him a big old hug from all of us over here. She just tells flat out lies in one case, I know personally. I mean, she does. That's just, 9 o'clock your time. Stay cool today. I know. You know what's weird? It's like 75. Well, I think it was like 70, felt like 78 earlier. I was like, what is going on? It's very humid. Yesterday was pretty warm. So hopefully when I get off of here today, I'll go for my walk. It's so weird. I'll go outside. It could be 105 degrees outside. And I'll walk outside and be like, oh my God, it's so hot. But that's when I like taking my walk. And I will literally walk 4 miles in the heat with all the bugs and everything. I have 4 p.m. there. Oh, you're in the UK, huh? 6 hours ahead of me. Must be in the UK. So hopefully today I'll be able to take my walk. I didn't take one yesterday. I was caught up in a bunch of stuff. But so when we got off yesterday, 85 at 11 a.m. there in PA. It's that warm there at 11 a.m. I guess I thought it'd be cooler up there. SD is sending your hubs some prayers there, Donna. So we got off yesterday and I was like, okay, so we'll just get on today and we'll chit chat and we'll just kind of start going through more of these statements. And then a few hours later, there was another filing. So, because we were talking yesterday about how we should see an order regarding those motions, right? That we still need to, like, what's going on with all that. It was a very short order. I think it's like 5 pages. I'll give you a quick summary of it and then we'll hey Winnie the Pooh. So I'll give you a quick summary of it and then we'll read it. So you guys can read it for yourself and then we'll just kind of go over some of the questions I have in my head. And then depending upon how long that takes us to do, then we can look at some of the statements again because we've got to go through. And also, this morning I noticed, well, whenever I was kind of going through all this, because I was online looking, there's some things in this order where I'm like, what? So I wanted to go back and confirm through some correspondence and stuff that had happened. And I had to go look through it. And I didn't see any filings, but just now, a little while ago, I noticed, and maybe I just wasn't paying attention because it showed the same filing date, but it showed that 7M filed their amended complaint. So their amended summons is up and it is now in that's what this case is going to be based around. The old one is, this one trumps it. And if I'm correct, there's 212 statements in it. 55, supposed to reach 73. Is that 73 hot for you, Wheezy? Are you like, oh my God, it's going to be a whole 73? Well, new filings. Yeah, I see it. 89 pages. Oh, yeah. I'm sure I didn't even look to see how many pages it is, but I'm sure that the amended summons is 89 pages. Let me just make sure I'm not missing something here. We saw this back in February. I think it was February 3rd that 7M filed their motion to amend the complaint. And the complaint, the amended complaint was the attachment. So we've seen it. And I did run it through ChatGPT just to see if there was any differences. I knew there wouldn't be and there shouldn't be, and there weren't. The only differences was she has an associate attorney, Jacqueline, that we see on the filings now. She wasn't with her in 2022, so that was a difference. Obviously, the date's a difference. Some formatting things were different, and the emojis that were used were updated. That's it. So it's all the same. We've seen it. Yeah, 89 pages. That's right. So I'm not missing anything. That's what it is. For this time of year, it is in the dry heat. You know, it's weird for us, Wheezy. It's been quite cool. I am a summertime person. My businesses have always revolved around the summer, at least for the last definitely 15 years. It's called 18 years. So weather is a big thing for me. It's not right now because I'm not I'm no longer doing that. This is my third summer to not, or second summer to not, but summers are a big thing for me. And this is unusual for us. It's quite cool here. Yeah, Unitopia. She says she's happy for Miranda and James getting that at least, and KJ being told no. And the more that I read, the more that I see, we'll talk more about it. 84 at 11. That's about what it'll be here probably. It's just so humid here, y'all. Minnesota. Yeah. It's and this is the third defamation case that's been in this court for Katie Joy. Yes, granted, the Tati Westbrook and the Todd Chrisley defamation lawsuits were settled. Seriously, Mr. Chrisley, Todd Chrisley, are you listening to me, sir? What are you doing? You don't come on here and say, yeah, I'm going to sue her again, and then let us all down. I need you to get it together, sir. Put your life on hold for all of us little ones over here that need you to come in and save the day. Right? Because Katie Joy completely, not just a little bit, broke the settlement agreement. Man, she ripped that whole thing to freaking shreds, y'all. Like she's like, screw it, she went to town on it, and he said he was going to circle back around, and you're causing me lots of missed sleep. Todd, I'm just kidding. I sleep just fine at night. Todd, we can we can recommend a lawyer. Oh God. Hey, Botched. How are you? Yeah, so come on, Mr. Chrisley. Or maybe he's just, look, Mr. Petty over there, I love his pettiness. Maybe he's saying he's going to wait until it's even worse. I mean, this is not very good for Katie Joy. I mean, look, what she's about to have to go through, because now that this new complaint has been filed, right? There's 212 statements that she has to defend against now. Originally, there were 85. Good morning from Iowa. Hey, Heather Morton. I'm doing well, Botched. Sounds like the chat's doing quite well, too. Early morning times, not complaining about all the heat yet. I mean, this is going to be super expensive for her, Unitopia. He is hilarious. See, I believe he has plans, too. I have faith in him. I do. He's got a lot going on. Did they just move or something, too? I think I saw that he just moved. Hold on, I'm going to switch over screens. Hang on just a second. If it squeals for a minute, give me a second and I'll mute it. But I'm going to pull up my end somewhere else. Okay, so I'm going to see if I have, as soon as I got on to start everything, it said I needed to update my computer. I'm like, what? Really? Luckily, it went smoothly. Even though I forgot my passwords, couldn't find them. I thought I was gonna be booted for good, but you wish the trial would be televised. Put it out there, Gravy. Put it out there, my friend. Put this out to the universe, y'all, that y'all want this to be heard. I'm gonna do what I can. That's all I'll say. But Katie Joy wants to go on and on about how it's important for everybody to, this is a great concern for the communities, right? I think it's a concern to be heard too. In all fairness, right? I mean, in all fairness, saying, she has the right to defend herself and she can do that publicly. But it also needs to be known that there's a defamation suit and what it's all about, right? Oh, here comes my curbside order. I mean, not my curbside, my delivery, y'all. Thank God my dogs are inside or it'd be a mess right now. Hopefully they don't see this guy showing up. Okay. It's a slam dunk for Todd Chrisley. Slam dunk. Slam dunk. She didn't just talk about him. She insulted him, his name, his children's names, his wife's name, everything about him, his sexuality, everything all over again. It was worse than before. She refiled in Minnesota, Melanie. So it was in Washington originally, and it was dropped because of jurisdiction. And then she refiled in Minnesota. And then it was settled in Minnesota. And she still claims that she won. See, her people don't double check this stuff. Winnie the Pooh says, Todd, you need to get back on the bandwagon. I need to do a sound bite for Todd Chrisley every time we talk about him. I'll find a good one. I don't see him letting it go. I don't either. I really don't. And he responded to my video saying that he said, Thanks for letting me know. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to sue her again. Yeah, she did refile. I don't think it was on the docket too long in Minnesota. Katie brags about it and says, she turned around and sued her, so she's settled. And she never tells the truth about her lawsuits. And this one's prime example. Everything she says about this lawsuit to her people is wrong for the most part. I've proven it. He despises her. Yes, he's made that very clear. Very clear. So, yeah, they filed 7M they filed their amended complaint, which is fantastic. So now Katie Joy has those 212 statements to answer to. And I don't think that's going to go well for her. I just don't. Hold on, let me change. If you're in chat, if you're watching, change it from top chat to live chat or to all. And I'm just getting things set up. Seven M needs to pay me. If you're talking to me, say needs to pay you if you mean me. Yes, Robert Shen. Katie Joy said we're all on his. Well, I wasn't included in that, but apparently, Balls, Renell Smith, was it Charlotte on the Web? WOACB versus WOACB. Forgot. I think that might have been all she said. They were all working for Robert Shin and they were all on his payroll. We know that's absolute BS. But her people believe this crap, y'all, just like they believe the bullshit about her lawsuit and how it's going. You know what, Ginger? Sometimes I have to ask myself, like Ginger says, I wonder if she's just lying about the lawsuit or is this just how her brain understands it? And there's times I'm like, there's no way she really thinks this is how it's going. Is this how she's understanding it? But then again, when you look at her, it's manipulation. She's very good about how she puts it out there to where she's a play on words, and she could come back and argue it to her people. Maybe not to the court, but to her people. Like, oh no, I was saying this and that. Yeah, Lindsay too. Well, I see she's been in the news lately. Yeah, she mentioned Renell. Yeah, the rest of us are just bots. Yeah, we're all bots that have just been sent to spread hate. Hey, Sherry from Canada. That's all right. We haven't even started anything yet. I'm giving it some time. Hey, Christine. I know I'd be under so much stress too. This is a lot for her because right now, okay, we have to, all this going up to this has been a lot. You're going to see here that this judge seems very, very annoyed. I'd go as far as saying pissed off, but that's probably not, you know, it's probably not accurate, but very annoyed. And it seems that she's annoyed at both parties, but it's definitely more towards Katie Joy. And I'm kind of going back and looking at some stuff to do some cross referencing after I read this. I'm about to put it up on the screen for y'all. Let me see first if y'all can. Let me see. Let me see. Let me know if y'all can see this. If not, I might change it a different way. Is that, are y'all able to see this? A high of 66. You know what? There's times I'm like, oh, but I can't handle the cold. 66 would be like really cold for me. It's blurry because it's so small, Winnie. Yeah, she refiled and settled with KJ after KJ threw Swanson under. Oh, that's right, under the bus. I've got a lag on my end again. If I do it that way. Now let me see if I do it. Hold on, let me. This, hold on, let me remove this. I think it'll be better if I do this. Let's see. That's probably a lot better. Is that a lot better? Maybe this will be better. Let's see. It's harder for me to navigate it, but let me see. I still don't see it on my end. Dear Lord. What is going on? Okay, I just need a second because my computer's just acting really sluggish. I did just have to like update it or whatever it said. Okay, give me 1 second. I'm gonna go out and come right back in. Hang on. All right, can y'all hear me now? All right, let's see here. All right, let me go back. Okay, now let me share the screen again. Let me see if I've got this still pulled up. Yeah. Okay. Now let me now. I don't know what was going on. All right, we're good now. Denying share. All right. That's better, right? Y'all can probably see that a little bit better. So it's still probably a little, it's not going to be as hard to read as the other, but all right. So this is the order that was filed yesterday on the 4th. And again, um, y'all, I really think that this judge is just annoyed. And you're gonna see it here. It seems directed at both parties. I think, and let me know if y'all agree, but I tend to think that it seems to be geared more towards Katie. And there's something in it where I'm like, but it seems like she's kind of going after Amber Stabig, and I'm like, wait a minute, like I don't know how I feel about that. But and it's not because I'm clearly, anti Katie. I try to stay as very um I try to stay as partial as I can, right? I will keep my opinions about Katie. Like I keep, I say all those. Like I don't have a problem saying how I feel about Katie. When it comes to this, we have to keep in mind, um, you know, that this is the court of law and it's not the court of public opinion. And this court only sees part of it, right? I mean, we've been around for a long time. We've seen her do all kinds of crazy shit. We see all these things. We've seen all these posts. I mean, we have to keep in mind that the judge only sees what the judge sees. The judge only hears what the judge hears. So we have to understand that, yeah, we can get frustrated, and that's all right. But when it comes to this, we have to keep an open mind. So basically, I'm just going to kind of give you my summary of it first, and then we'll read it. I mean, basically, so we know that Katie Joy filed for sanctions, and so did 7M. And this judge denied the sanctions for both of their regarding discovery, like their discovery requests. This happens on both sides. And the judge basically ordered them to comply to prior discovery orders. Like there's an order stating Katie Joy still has not provided her tax records. Apparently, 7M hasn't provided some social media monetization records. And we'll get into that once we get down to that in this order. But I don't understand kind of what, like what she's saying, but 7M is saying, hey, these claims for the social media 7M is claiming, that the monetization records that Katie's requesting are vague. And the judge is like, not a good enough answer. Clearly, your clients know what monetization records are. And that's where my issue lies. And we'll kind of get into that, like what I'm thinking. But basically, the judge tells Katie Joy that, just because they haven't provided it does not give you leverage to not provide yours. And I think she called it unjustifiable and frivolous. You don't have the right to be able to just not provide something because you say they haven't. And in my opinion, honestly, I feel like 7M has provided it. And I'm trying to figure out why this judge is saying that they haven't. But that's just according to correspondence that I can find. 66 is short weather. Not for me, ma'am. Not for me. But yeah, I mean, for most people, for my husband, it would be for sure. I mean, you grow up in Texas and it's hot so much of it's just so humid. Then we get into this whole thing, how 7M, how Katie Joy is telling 7M, they deleted their accounts. They did, you deleted your accounts, and 7M is like, no, we said we deactivated them. What they said in their original affidavit was, hey, Jane White, welcome in. Glad you made it. 7M is saying, no, we didn't delete them, but the original affidavits said they deleted their social media presence. So Katie Joy even went on News Nation. She makes all these posts, all this shit saying they deleted it. They need to be held accountable for spoliation of evidence and blah, 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 right? Like breaking a court order. They're doing all this shit wrong. And 7M is like, and I even went back and looked at the correspondence that were in the exhibits of the correspondence between the attorneys, like in their email correspondence, basically saying, what don't you understand? We've told you, we've made it clear with the court. We've even, we've made it clear that that they deactivated their social media accounts. Nothing is deleted. Everything is archived. They can still access their archives. Let us know what archives you want to access. And Jennifer Moore is like, here's a list of like 800 words that I want you to run past and put in there through the archives and basically record it and show us that whenever you do a word search, that it proves that it's archived. And this was in a correspondence back and forth. And Amber Stavig's like, no, hell no. No, I'm not doing that. Tell me what archived, what you're looking for, and we'll give it to you, right? So Katie Joy has made a huge deal. And I think that this huge deal about this deleted versus deactivation, like deletion versus deactivation, has like really irritated the judge. And so we'll see that too. Because even the judge says something like she doesn't believe that the discrepancy the discrepancy in that was intentional, right? Or that it was made in bad faith or something. So she basically ordered them to just refile their affidavits saying whether or not they whether or not they deleted or deactivated, and then elaborate on their archives. Y'all, I've got 3 big dogs in here with me and a little one next to me. The 3 big ones are all asleep. They all snore. So one of them is snoring right now. So if you hear her, if you hear some sound, that's what that is. That's my dog snoring. It's what she does best. So, and Katie Joy wanted discovery reopened. Her main argument, and this was in the correspondence and this was in the filing too, was that we need to reopen. You have to go, Donna. Have a good day. Hugs to you and your husband. I hope he's doing well. Don't be sad that you have to go. We'll be here. We'll be here next week as well. Well, probably just on Monday. And you can always do the replay. She wanted to have discovery reopened because she basically said, look, Robert Shin's about to be arrested. Robert Shin, his indictment is imminent. Remember that whole thing? And he's going to be arrested. And because of that, we need to reopen discovery and we need to, we need depositions reopened. She also said, we want to set Robert Shin back in for deposition, but not only that, we want to call in Hannah Shin and Shirley Kim. And we talked about this yesterday. She wanted to depose them. And like I said yesterday, they had that opportunity to. Jennifer Moore tried to, and I just looked at a letter just a little while ago, and I'm going to show y'all. It's fucking gross. Like the way that Jennifer Moore speaks to Amber Stavig, and Graham Martin did the same thing. I don't really see that. I see way more professionalism on Amber Stavig's side. And y'all, it took me back. I was like, wow, how did I not really see that? Goose, I was so excited when I saw the judge rule to let those later videos and post go through. Yeah. Now she has 212 statements to argue against. So back then she said, I want you to depose Hannah and Shirley. And That could be their Hollywood name, y'all. But I want you to depose them. And Amber Stavig's like, I can't force them. They're not my clients. If you want them, you need to subpoena them. And she threatened that. And she's like, yo, well, of course I'm going to. Well, they never did. Now, hey, Vivian, how are you? Now she's saying, we want to depose Hannah and Shirley. Like, we need to say that we got questions for them. And the judge is even like, you had your opportunity and you didn't. So the judge denied reopening discovery. And of course, the biggest one to us is, the fact that Katie Joy thinks that she could just tell the judge, look, I am the expert here on my little team over here. I'm the one that's an expert in social media. Therefore, everything related to their social media monetization and their social media financial gain, that all needs to be brought to me. So therefore, Judge Willis, you need to remove the attorney's eyes only stipulation because I need to see all this. And the judge said no. And you'll see what the judge said. The judge even said that 7M needs protection from Katie Joy, from her constant or her persistent, I forget what the wording was, maybe persistent reporting of them. And basically the judge said, as far as sanctions go, I don't think she ruled it out completely, like as far as like the future is concerned. But right now she's like, no, I'm not awarding any attorney's fees here. Both of y'all are pissing me off. Oh, she's totally fucked. Yes, Goose. Katie Joy is definitely, this isn't going to go in her favor. I mean, I know that we have said this, right, for a while. It's just now it's way more obvious. Way more obvious. This isn't good for her. And look, so right now it's kind of a restart, right? Okay, we've been through all this 4 years. The judge even says, basically, I'm so pissed at both of y'all that you cannot come to an agreement regarding discovery. Y'all's delays, the fact that y'all cannot come together, you cannot agree on anything, the delays in discovery has cost this case all this time. It's not the court's fault. It's y'all's fault. And Katie Joy even admitted to the fact that she intentionally delayed discovery because she wanted the Netflix docuseries to come out first, because then she could answer to everything they wanted to answer. She didn't want to give away anything before the docuseries came out or give up anybody's personal information or whatever it may be. She admitted to it in a live stream. I believe 7M, and once we finish going through all the statements that 7M are admitting here as evidence, or as their new summons, it's the new complaint, we'll see that, I think. So and the judge said that, Jane, basically like, hire an expert. If you can't figure it out yourself, hire someone. It's not your client's duty. Hey, this Shannon, how are you doing? I've been subscribed to you forever, and I've resisted the Katie Joy trial, but you've hooked me. Oh, good. Oh, yeah, her trials and tribulations. It's bad right now. It's bad. If you have any dislike for Katie Joy, now's the time to hop on board. I'm telling you. Because now's the time to hop on board, because this is not going to, I think for her from now on, honestly, is going to be bad. And like I said, they just today, or it was, I saw it today, it was actually filed yesterday. 7M filed that their new, their amended complaint. So now Katie Joy has 212 statements she has to argue against. And, so we have to have, it's kind of starting all new, like I was saying a little bit ago, besides the whole discovery and the delay and all that and all the other bullshit issues they've had. So Katie Joy needs to answer to this, because she's ultimately, being summoned. She's being sued. She's going to answer to this, and then she will file. She says she's going to file a special motion to dismiss. I predict she's going to file a motion for summary judgment, and we're going to go through all that shit again. But now she's going to have 212 statements to argue against. And I think Amber was obviously very strategic in how she did this because, you know, she waited for a certain amount of time. She waited for Katie Joy to say everything that she was going to say that was going to really pin her down. And then she filed the motion to amend the complaint, and it was granted. And so what we saw in the last summary judgment, and then also the reconsideration because Katie filed for a motion to reconsider summary judgment ruling, the judge reconsidered. So we saw that ruling as well. The way that the judge ruled on all of the statements and stuff, very few were kicked. The judge basically said, all of this needs to be determined by a jury. These statements that are being submitted now, did I say admitted earlier? I guess like admission. Whatever, my brain. So what has been submitted now are no different. They're worse is the only thing that's different. They're worse for Katie Joy in a bad way. In a very bad way. My opinion only. Okay. So yeah, Goose, I still don't really know the whole relationship between Graham. Now, Graham Martin is partner in the firm that represents Katie Joy. He originally represented her himself. Then there was another, Kristen? She probably was like, screw this crazy lady. And then they assigned to Jennifer Moore. So Jennifer Moore has been on this case for a while. Yeah, Unitopia, I agree. There was some shade thrown in a way. I also think this judge recognized, look, Katie Joy's talked a lot of shit on this judge and has already made it very clear that she feels that there's bias, that this judge is being, is ruling in favor of 7M. She said it. This has also been submitted to the judge. The judge has heard it. Okay. So I think this judge is trying to probably do anything she can to prevent an appeal. That's just my opinion. Probably not how it even works. Probably hasn't even gone through the judge's mind, but I just don't know. Like it's very obvious as I go back and start looking through all their correspondence again. Amber Stavig has really, really acted in good faith through all of this. I'm going to show you some examples in a bit. All right, so those of you that haven't read it, let's go through it. I'm going to just breeze through it because it's basically, I just kind of gave you the lowdown, but there's some things I want to kind of talk through. So there was a hearing on February 9th, 2026 for 7M's motion for contempt and sanctions and Katie Joy's motion for discovery, sanctions, and reclassification of documents. And the reclassification of documents, basically, she's wanting the attorney's eyes only stipulation be removed. She wanted discovery to be made public. The judge didn't address that here. And then also she wants to reopen discovery for that whole purpose. So regarding discovery, on January 29th of 2024, the court entered an extensive order on the parties. And I went back and looked at some of that again today on their motions to compel, because both parties filed a motion to compel in the summer of 2023. And then there were some issues, of course. Imagine that. There was all these disagreements. The judge filed an extension. There was another hearing in November, and then she rolled on it in January. So on January 29, 2024, the court entered an extensive order to the parties' respective motions to compel. The court clearly defined the interrogatories and requests for production to which the parties were required to respond. Both parties argue that the opposing party has refused to comply with multiple aspects of the court order. 7M argues that Katie's request for social media monetization records is vague, and Katie needs to be more Katie need to more clearly define the information she is seeking. We're going to get to that in a second, because I'm like, what monetization records? Again, we can't see what all's been provided in discovery. So we don't really know. Hey, Mothership. Sorry if you addressed this already. Came in late. There's been a few wins in defamation on social media. Okay, I just saw another one yesterday. The Mothership that I was unaware of regarding defamation in social media, and the ruling on that was like $75,000. Do you know which one I'm talking about? I have not addressed that. I have not. I need to. Christine says the amendment being granted feels like she's starting over from the beginning. She is starting over from the beginning. But I mean, for the most part, right? And having to answer to these certain questions. But we're not going to go through the whole issue with discovery. And it's great because the judge here shuts down Katie's request to reopen discovery. So we don't have to go through all that headache. She's basically like, what do you mean reopen discovery? You haven't even figured out what the fuck y'all are doing on this discovery. There's nothing but arguments. So yeah, Jennifer Moore does family law. Have you ever looked at her reviews? I've absolutely shown that many times. Someone said that they wouldn't even allow Jennifer Moore to represent their cat. All right. Defendants informed plaintiffs that they will. Okay, this is true. Jennifer Moore said in a letter, and I've got that. If we have time, we'll look at it, to Amber Stavig, and the judge quoted it here, that they will not produce defendants' tax returns while plaintiffs remain in violation of the same court order by failing to produce social media monetization records. And I have that letter. And then it says defendants also noted. So Katie also noted that the non-dispositive deadline passed, so plaintiffs were no longer rightfully entitled to seek compliance with discovery. And the judge is kind of saying, what? Both Miranda and James Derrick stated in their October 8th, 2025 sworn affidavits that they deleted their social media accounts. However, Katie Joy claims that Ms. Stavig contradicted the Derricks' statements by indicating that the Derricks deactivated, not deleted, their social media accounts. Miranda and James Derrick stated that they deleted their social media presence. They did not say they deleted their social media accounts. Amber Stavig has had a lot of correspondence regarding this, saying, what do you not understand? How much more do I have to explain? Yeah, her reviews are really bad. Well, it's not starting over lamb chop, so to speak. So I don't think a judge is going to allow Katie Joy to change attorneys. I think now maybe if another attorney within that firm wants to represent her, sure. But like stopping the case and hiring a whole new firm, I don't think that would. I think that if she requested that, the judge would say no. Keep in mind, Katie Joy goes on and on about how she has the best legal team, a dream team, she calls them, right? So she's saying, look, Katie's been saying this whole thing about deletion versus deactivation is so petty. It's so annoying, and you can tell the judge is annoyed because then it goes on to say that Katie Joy claims this contradiction was made in bad faith, resulted in prejudice to defendants, and defendants are entitled to corrected affidavits, targeted searches, production of content from undisclosed accounts. And the production of, the targeted searches is the one I was saying earlier. She gave Amber Stavig this huge list and said, I want you to go and do all these searches and prove to us that you didn't delete your account. Because if you do a targeted search, it'll show up, right? Since y'all have archived them. And the judge is even like, Katie is saying that she's entitled to corrected affidavits, targeted searches, and keep this in mind, what she says she's entitled to, okay? Corrected affidavits, targeted searches, production of content from undisclosed accounts, an adverse inference instruction, damages, preclusion, and attorney's fees. Okay? So you can see this judge is like, what you say? You say what, Katie Joy? You think that you're, entitled to what? And Katie Joy is basically saying that, obviously that she's entitled to all of this, but that she's saying basically, I think that if, like, say, any of the she's saying evidence was destroyed, right? Because this whole thing about spoliation and she did X, Y, and Z, and she's arguing that the evidence was destroyed, or deleted, as she's claiming. That the jury, like, if this goes to trial, they should not be allowed to hear about that missing evidence, because that would have been, I guess she's saying, like, it would be unfair, right? And so also, like, therefore nobody can testify against that or whatever. Okay. So that's what Katie Joy is saying here, that this is what she feels like she needs to be, how does she say it? Entitled to. And the judge only gives her one, and that is that they can that James and Miranda are ordered to correct their affidavits. Now, I don't think that's a hit at 7M. I think this is a hit at Katie Joy. Like, seriously, Katie Joy, what part don't you fucking understand? So yes, we're going to have them refile sworn affidavits to say that they that they did not delete their accounts, that they deactivated their accounts. Because you'll see here in a bit where the judge basically says she didn't think this is in bad faith. And Katie Joy is like, this is in bad faith and resulted in prejudice to myself. On February 7th of 2023, a protective order was entered. And we know this protective order on discovery, that attorney's eyes only stipulation. And I'll go ahead and read it instead of me giving you my summary. On February 7, 2023, a protective order was entered in this case, authorizing any party to designate documents and information as confidential. The order provided the following definition: highly confidential, attorney's eyes only. And so anything that was highly confidential was attorney's eyes only. And Katie Joy made this big fuss about, and this was a big part of the delay in discovery, right? Because Katie Joy is saying they're wanting everything to be confidential. They're labeling everything as attorney's eyes only. And she fought it and argued it. And that was a big delay. That's really not on Amber Stavic's part. She's going to do what she needs to do to protect her clients. Yeah, it is pretty obvious that some of the filings were written by Katie Joy. I believe that too. Obviously, we have no proof. So obviously that's just, my opinion and our opinion and speculation. But it does kind of appear that way. Didn't Katie delete? Yes, Lamb Chop Katie deleted some stuff too. That's what's so funny about it all, right? And so this means that, and is limited to confidential information. Y'all, this is very small print for me, so I might not be able to read it all. That constitutes information that the producing party deems especially sensitive and is limited to private financial information, sensitive and private business information, medical records, and personal contact information. Access to highly confidential attorney's eyes only materials shall be limited to counsel of record only and cannot be distributed to clients. I was able to read it. A party may request a modification of any information designated as highly confidential. And this was the big fight that went back and forth. Katie's saying, it's too much. Everything's, they're saying everything. I can't see anything. Why can't I see anything? Well, because you go and you fucking post it and show it to the world. That's why, Katie Joy. Let's start with that. Hold on, I got lost. Imagine that. Imagine that. I got lost on something. All right. She always tells on herself with all the projection. Katie is a queen of deleting, says Christine. Yep. Reopening discovery. The judge says defendants request that discovery be reopened for 60 days to take the depositions of Shirley Kim and Hannah Shin and the redeposition of Robert Shin. Katie's desire to redepose Mr. Shin due to alleged, quote unquote, new developments regarding financial production and criminal investigation. Okay. So her whole reasoning was, look, we need to reopen this. I need to ask him that man some questions because his criminal investigation. Well, how's that working out for you, Katie Joy? Let me just say this. It's working way better for Robert Shen than it is for you. Let's just say that. In plaintiff's February 14th, 2023 rule 2601 disclosures, okay, yeah, this is what we were saying earlier. Hannah Shin and Shirley Kim were identified as by plaintiffs to Katie Joy as individuals with discoverable information regarding this case. Katie Joy did not choose to previously depose them. Defendants claim they did not depose them because the extent of their involvement was not revealed by plaintiffs in a timely manner. And Amber Stavig was able to dispute that. Katie also desires to redepose Mr. Shin regarding the quote unquote developments of the September 2025 financial production, the July 25th, 2025 financial raid, the September forfeiture notice showing $105,222 cash seized from him, and the October 8th, 2025 declaration from his California attorney acknowledging the criminal investigation. All right, so now let's see the conclusions of law. All right, that's kind of, look how quick this judge made this shit. I really thought this was going to be like really extensive. The finding of facts starts on page 1 and ends midway through page 3. Oh. The conclusion of law regarding discovery. Neither party has fully complied with the court's January 29th, 2024 order regarding discovery. I have questions about that. I do. But we don't know what's been just because I have questions, okay? Just don't put any relevance to that because we don't know what was provided in discovery. The only thing that I know is through correspondence between the attorneys of their arguments back and forth and Amber Stavig saying, hey, wait a minute, XYZ. We've provided that. What part of it are you not understanding? You're saying it's vague. I'm saying it's vague because we gave you what you needed. What else are you asking for? Clearly it's vague if I don't know what you're asking for. So I don't understand why the judge is kind of on her ass about this. I don't know if being on her ass is the right terminology, but layman's terms over here, y'all, right? Again, I remind you, I'm not an attorney. Never have been, never claimed to be, never went to law school. I did work as a paralegal, but that was many years ago, and that has nothing to do with this. I like to read documents, and I will read them, and so y'all don't have to. And then we talk about them together. That's all. So, conclusion of law regarding discovery. Neither party has fully complied with the court's January 29th, 2024 order regarding discovery. 7M claims lack of understanding and vagueness regarding information sought by Katie, particularly as it relates to social media monetization records. Mr. and Mrs. Derrick earn their living by their social media presence. They clearly understand the information defendants are seeking related to social media monetization. Their claim that the request is vague is not credible or valid. I have issue with that because when I went back, and I probably won't have time to show you all that, just trust me on this or not, I went back and was looking at the correspondence, like I said, and Amber Stavig is like, we've provided everything. Even Jennifer Moore even says, as I appreciate you providing all of your financial records and tax documents, even though they were 19 months late. She had to throw that one in there. Even though they were 19 months late, I appreciate you. However, you've provided to show, well, here, you know what? Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. It's gonna go over this, so it's gonna look kind of funny. But let me see something real quick. Let me see how this looks. Let me see if I can find it, which one it was. Oh dear. Oh dear. Is it this one? No. Is it this one? No. This one? No, that's about the deletion. I have it. It's just so small. I can't see which one it is. I think it's this one. You won't be able to read it anyways, will you? I'd have to read it to you. So we'll go over that after, and I'll just read it because I might have it in my Dropbox to where I can put it on here. But I was just going to try to prove a point, but I'll just kind of I will just verbalize the point that I want to prove. Okay. And that is that she says, I appreciate you, providing this, although it was 19 months late, but you haven't provided social media monetization records, meaning, or she said, like, you didn't provide financial, like what financial gain Robert Shin or 7M made from TikTok and from Instagram. And it's like, why are you pinning this on 7M? Miranda Derrick and James Derrick are the ones that hold these social media accounts, not 7M. Katie Joy is so convinced that 7M runs those accounts and owns those accounts that 7M was supposed to be getting all of the monetary gain, right? That all the payments were going to Robert Shin. And so is she just like, can she not get over the fact that she has to be so right? And she's like, no, you haven't shown us the real income from social media because it should be, given to 7M because 7M owns these accounts. And the whole time 7M is saying, no, Miranda and James own their own accounts. So I'm questioning if there really is any outstanding discovery regarding that. Because 7M says, Amber Stavig has said, we've given you everything. What is it that you're looking for? We've given you, even though it wasn't required regarding certain social media stuff, we gave it to you because we thought, we're like, what else do you need, basically? So it's very confusing to me. Is the judge just kind of going by the word on this? Like, okay, they're saying that you haven't, so you haven't. And the judge basically says their claim that the request is vague and not credible or valid. Like, I bet you that pissed Amber Stavig off because she's probably like, what have we not given? We've given everything. Katie Joy hasn't. She said she refuses to do so. Why aren't there sanctions? I'm sure that that's going to be an issue that we're going to hear because to me, again, I went back, believe me or don't, I went back and looked at the correspondence and I'll try to show that if we have time. Where Amber's even saying, tell me what you need. Tell me exactly what it is you need. I need you to please specify. And I guess that never happened. Yeah, I bet you she's sweating bullets right now. Oh, she's so hard to listen to, isn't she? Oh, she's singing the blues. She's singing victim. Yep, you're right. Similarly, defendants' refusal to provide plaintiff with the previously ordered discovery is inexcusable. Then why aren't there sanctions? Simply put, refusal to comply with a court order based on the other party's alleged noncompliance is unjustifiable and frivolous. Again, I have this. We've got to look over these. I'm going to try to find time and try to get it to where y'all can read it better. The letters, the correspondence between them, and the shitty thing that Jennifer Moore said to Amber Stavig back in the summer when Amber Stavig was being treated for thyroid cancer. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Why am I missing page 4? Don't do this to me. Y'all see that? It's trying to load page 4. What the heck? Hold on. Let me do this real quick. Let me refresh this and see if I can't get it up. Let me see if it does it now. There we go. I can see it. I just had to refresh it. All right. Oh, I got to share it again. I was about to be like, okay, here we go, but I'm not sharing it. Stop screen. Share screen. All right. All right, we're back in the game, I think. All right, page 4. I don't know what that was all about. Look, when you live in the country in the middle of nowhere, I'm surprised I don't hear dial up whenever I try to get on my computer. So we're doing good. Goose says Amber's 100% right. They did not hand over everything, and KJ has not sanctions should have been granted to 7M. I'm really confused by this, but I think the judge is annoyed, and she just didn't find reason for sanctions, and fine, okay, But also, I want to say that when we kind of get towards the bottom, we're going to see that this judge is not ruling that out completely. This is not like an indefinite, like, okay, no sanctions will be ruled. Okay, I think there's still a possibility moving forward. Okay. Furthermore, these perpetual and previously decided discovery disputes are continually and needlessly adding time and expense to an already prolonged lawsuit. This behavior serves neither the clients nor the court. So you could tell the judge is like, why can't you figure this out on your own? Why can't you figure it out on your own? I think that's a reasonable question. So regarding the Derek's affidavits, there is no evidence before the court that the contradictory statements regarding whether the Derek's Instagram, TikTok accounts were deactivated or deleted were intentional or were made in bad faith. So I'm so glad that that statement's made. Nonetheless, the court finds it necessary that this inconsistency be resolved because Katie Joy's not going to shut the fuck up about it. As such, Mr. and Mrs. Derek shall file corrected affidavits clarifying their discrepancy and explaining what archives, if any, exist to any Instagram/TikTok accounts. I think that's fair enough. And, let's say Katie Joy is going to come back in the future and say something, right? And there, like, this was a loophole for an appeal. There won't be now. Regarding the protective order, this is pretty good, y'all. Right, Shannon, your old internet would go out if a bird farted. I'm telling you, it's like I got to sit very still. No, we do have Starlink now out here, and if y'all don't, if y'all are in the same situation as me and you don't have Starlink, I absolutely recommend it. I really don't have issues. What we have issues with is we have storms. I think that's pretty common anywhere. I mean, again, we can't get fiber out where we're at, so we have to do satellite. But Starlink has been amazing. The only reason why it has failed is because it wasn't up on the roof properly. And yeah, my husband was in the process of it, and one of the goats wrapped its horns around the wire and yanked it off of the roof. So that happened. Y'all, my world is crazy over here. Hey, Jill B, how are you doing? You have Starlink and you love it? Yep. Yep. So someone had access to her address and tag number. Oh, am I in the middle of somebody else's conversation again? I butt myself in. Sometimes I'll just read something and I'll be like, what are you talking about? Y'all are having a whole conversation over there and I just nose myself in there. All right. So regarding the protective order, courts can make any order regarding discovery to protect a party or person from annoyance, embarrassment, oppression, or undue burden or expense. Katie Joy contends that the highly confidential, attorney's eyes only, designation should be removed from plaintiff's specialized knowledge about social media monetization that her attorney does not possess. 7M opposes the removal of the attorney's eyes only designation due to Katie Joy's alleged persistent and fabricated reporting of them. They are concerned she will improperly. Wait, did I just go? I lost my. They are concerned that she will improperly use any information she learns from the records to plaintiff's detriment. And let's keep in mind, Katie Joy showed, okay, for all this time, she said Miranda and James were not legally married. They weren't married. They weren't married. They weren't married. In discovery, they provided their marriage license, their marriage certificate. What did Katie Joy do? Put it out immediately. Not only did she put it out, she then said, well, yeah, it appears that they are married, but this has been forged. That's not Miranda Derrick's signature. And I'm here to tell you that is Miranda Derrick's signature. There are things on the internet that you can compare it to, and it is her signature. So that's not going to go well for her at trial. Yeah, the whole LB thing, how she knew about it beforehand. And look, Katie's sneaky, man. She's a snake. I think she's kind of getting caught up in it, though. I think her game was stronger back then with that. I think now there's too much at risk for her to keep doing that kind of shady shit. She has too many eyes on her. You can't tell me that she's not being watched. I firmly believe she is. Hang on one second. But again, that could just be wishful thinking on my part, and there could be no truth to that, which it probably isn't, but whatever. It just feels good to think that. Okay. So then the judge says, due to the nature of these proceedings, Ms. Paulson's persistent and detailed reporting on plaintiffs and the public interest in the parties, the court finds merit to plaintiffs' concerns. Continued attorney's eyes only designation of plaintiffs' social media monetization records will offer plaintiffs some protection from potential annoyance, embarrassment, oppression, or undue burden or expense. That says so much to me. So much. Defense counsel can utilize an expert or other resource to help her navigate her understanding of social media monetization records. Well, guess what? I think if she gets an expert, which she's going to have to, right? If Katie Joy allows it, to get an expert to help her navigate her understanding of social media monetization records, she's going to realize that maybe what Katie Joy has been telling her is false. And then she's going to realize that maybe 7M has provided everything that they requested. I don't know, just saying. All right, moving on along. Sorry, I had to get situated. My dog was trying to get in my lap. All right. Hold on. It's going to come back. You're right, Goose. It's all going to come back and bite her in the arse. Hopefully the FBI ignore her calls. I wonder, Christine, if Katie Joy might be the one trying to ignore the FBI's calls. I'm just kidding. Like, I don't think there's like this huge investigation on her, but I would say that she's been flagged. That would just be she's made so many calls to the FBI. She's made so many statements to the FBI. Now we look at the FBI did this huge investigation on Robert Shin. They did this raid and nothing's come of it. What is that going to do for Katie Joy? I think it's bad for Katie Joy. Again, could be wishful thinking on my part. I own it. So basically they're saying, look, dummy. If you can't figure this shit out on your own, clearly you can't listen to your client because she lies. She's full of shit. So you need to utilize an expert or other resource. Even though Hannah Shin and Shirley Kim were previously identified as individuals who may have discoverable information in this case, Katie Joy did not depose them. The court is not persuaded that there is good cause to reopen discovery for the purpose of taking and retaking these depositions. Can we get a big round of applause? Please, can we get a big round of applause for that? Because thank you. Number one, that would just add more time to this case. This judge is sick of the disputes regarding discovery, right? Judge is over it. Four years, y'all. 4 years. Did I cut out for a little bit? I saw that my chat was cut out. It said that my chat disconnected. I'm assuming y'all can hear me. If not, you'll tell me, I'm sure. All right. Furthermore, the court will not make any decisions regarding defendant's request regarding adverse inferences, preclusion of testimony, and admission of evidence at this stage in the proceedings. So that's kind of a good thing for Katie Joy because it's not shutting it down, right? I think until, because let's say that Miranda and James come back and say, yeah, we deleted our social media. Katie Joy is right. Well, then that kind of, if the judge denied that, then that'd be an issue, right? Because then they'd be admitting to it. And then Katie would have that right that should not come up at trial. Right. That information should not be brought back up, that anything that was related to what was deleted could not be brought up. See, Katie Joy, this is what she does. Just like hoping that Robert Shin's going to be arrested, she's putting all of her eggs in that basket. She did it with this deletion thing because if they deleted it, it'd be very bad for them and it'd be very good for Katie Joy. They're not that stupid, okay? But nonetheless, she likes to think everybody is. Thank you for the round of applause for that. Yes, Judge Willis, thank you. That is for Judge Willis. But, Katie Joy needs this, just like she needed Robert Shin to be arrested. He's not going to be. She needs them to have deleted their accounts. Number one, because she spewed it all over her social media and made a video about News Nation saying it. So, and if that were the case, then it would be unfair at trial for anything related to what was quote unquote possibly deleted. None of that would be fair to bring up in trial. So if the judge was saying, okay, yeah, I grant that, that'd be a problem because then if they came back and said, yeah, we deleted it, well, then, there'd be an issue. Catch my drift. But I don't think it's going to bode well for Katie regardless, because I firmly believe, without a doubt, they did not delete their social media. They deactivated it. They deleted their presence, not their accounts. So here's the order. The order states, James and Miranda Derrick shall file an affidavit within 20 days from the date of this order explaining whether their Instagram/TikTok accounts were deactivated or deleted. Number 2, defendant's request to have the attorney's eyes only designation removed from plaintiff's financial documents is denied. Katie's request to reopen discovery is denied. The parties shall fully and completely comply with the court's January 29th, 2024 order regarding discovery. I went back, looked at Katie's discovery request, looked at her interrogatories. I looked at the interrogatories and the production of documents, right? The request for production of documents. And that's what this falls under. And it was number 6 and 7. And when I went back and looked at the order, it stated that yes, they needed to provide number 6 and 7. This order that was filed on in January, on January 29th, 2024, both parties filed motions to compel. 7M's motion to compel was fully granted. It was granted in full. Everything that they said Katie Joy had not abided by, she was ordered to do so. Katie Joy's was granted in part. Some of hers, the judge said, this is too vague or whatever, or this doesn't apply, or whatever it may be. But when it came to that, the judge said it was relevant. And 7M's argument right now is we provided it. What else do you want? So I'm curious to see where this goes from here and how this is going to be presented to the court. Maybe there is something that they still need to provide. We just don't know, right? I mean, obviously, we don't see what's provided in discovery. Neither party shall be awarded attorney's fees. There you have it, y'all. And there you have it. So basically, in a nutshell, if you're coming in late, yesterday we talked about 7M. Their motion to amend the complaint was granted. That was filed yesterday. I didn't see it till today. So the new amended complaint, the new amended summons is what's in compliance here. This is what Katie Joy has to follow. There are now 212 statements that Katie Joy has to argue versus the original 85. That's bad for Katie Joy. Okay. Then last night yesterday we saw that that the judge ruled on the motions that were filed back in December. They were heard in February again, and then basically this judge is over it. You could tell this judge is annoyed, like mainly regarding discovery and all the discovery disputes. 7M is saying Katie Joy never, still to this day, and the judge agrees with this, says, you have not complied with this January 2024 order. You are supposed to provide your tax records. You haven't done it. Why sanctions were not awarded, I do not know. But you know what? And I think about it, I don't think sanctions were requested. I think they filed a motion for contempt, not sanctions. I wonder why she wasn't found in contempt. Nonetheless, Katie Joy says, that she needs to be able to see everything regarding their social media monetization. So the judge needed to remove the attorney's eyes only stipulation. The judge said no, that you've proven that you can be not a danger, but that this can cause harassment and stuff. And that's a no-go. It's definitely not good for Katie Joy. This judge is annoyed. Okay. It's clear to me that this judge is annoyed. And one thing that I don't particularly like is that she's like, yep, 7M hasn't, complied with discovery. When 7M says, we have, what she's asking for doesn't make sense. And one thing is we know that 7M has given up all the financial records regarding, they even said, let me see if I can find this. Sorry, my dog's scratching right next to me. Not sure how much you can hear of that. Barney, can you please stop? Thank you. Are you doing that for attention or are you really scratchy? I think he's doing it for attention. Aren't you? Yeah, I bet you are. All right. Where's it at? So far, I mean, I'm really curious as to when we're going to see that. Hang on a second, y'all. My dog's having an issue. He's something. He's extra. He's like a lot extra, this dog. And I got one snoring over there too. Oh my God. I'm just really curious as to when Katie Joy is going to turn over her tax records. Like, there's no arguing it anymore. There's no, um, there's no arguing it anymore, right? I wanted to show you a few things. I upload them to my Dropbox, but I can't seem to find them on here. Let me make sure I put them on there. Hang on a second, y'all. If not, I'm just going to put them on the screen and I'm going to read them. And if you have a way to zoom in, you can, or you can just trust me. They're showing that they're in my Dropbox. But it's not showing on the end of my end on the computer. So this is what we're going to do. Oh, EKC, has she put something else out about Katie Joy? EKC is EKC People Suck. Her name's Erin Costello. Okay. Goose just said it. All right. This is what we're gonna do. I'm trying to think how I uploaded them. Let's see what this is. All right. So okay, so what I did here, this is an order. So this right here is the the January 2024 order that the judge just quoted. And this is where it shows that 7M's motion to compel was granted. Okay, up at the very top where it's in blue, it says defendant's request for production 6 and 7. It says this request is relevant to the claims or defenses in this lawsuit, but should be limited to the time period from January 2020 to present. So if we go and we look at Katie Joy's, y'all bear with me, I cannot see. Okay. So this is Katie Joy's, again, now this is from the summer of 2024. And this is Katie Joy's saying, this actually was in I believe this was in correspondence between the terms, but nonetheless, you can see that it says that request for production 6, documents sufficient to show any compensation paid to you, including monetary, in kind, or other, attributable to your social media activity. Okay, that was part of Katie Joy's discovery. That was part of her request to produce documents. And the judge, as we just saw on this one, which you probably can't even see, you're probably laughing at me right now. But within this order, it says that, Katie Joy's was granted in part and denied in part. But what was granted, it says the request for productions 6 and 7. So that was requested. But what 7M is saying, and let me try to find that correspondence. Let me see if this one. Just bear with me as I fly through these. This is Katie Joy's actual request for documents. Okay, this is the actual filing, and you can see it here where it says that she requested documents sufficient to show any compensation paid to you, including monetary, in kind, or other, attributable to your social media. And 7M is like, okay, we provided that, but you're saying that we didn't, so it's vague. And the judge is like, yeah, it's vague, but how much of this has the judge kind of looked over? It's very questionable to me, honestly. I can't wait to see what the response is going to be about that. Let me see. Is this the one that says reopening discovery? Okay. This is hang on one second, just kind of read it and see. So this right here is in correspondence between Jennifer Moore, who signs it as very truly yours. Isn't that wild, Katie Joy, that an attorney would sign something very truly yours? I mean, my gosh, how dare she? Oh, yeah, her channel was banned. Her channel was deleted. But it still shows her videos, but she can't post anything new. This is EKC. I don't know the details on it. I don't know, so I can't speak on it. It appears to be back. You can pull up the videos, is my understanding, but you can't, like, I hope it's back. But I can't speak on that, so I'm not going to. Yeah, I do remember someone telling me that, and I went and looked, and it showed, but it doesn't mean that her channel's active. Like, I don't think she can post or do anything. Okay, anyways, reopening discovery. So this is correspondence between them. This was submitted as, you know, an attachment in some of the filings or whatever. And this is just to show that Katie Joy was so convinced, okay, and I bet you this pisses the judge off. She's so convinced that Robert Shin is going to be arrested. She's so convinced he's going to be charged. He's going to be indicted. So they go as far as to write, okay, so this is correspondence, and Jennifer Moore is writing this to Amber Stabig. This is the end of the letter. Again, I got this from the filings. And Jennifer says, it is my belief that the July 25th, 2025 federal raid on Mr. Shin's properties, the U.S. Postal Inspection Service, forfeiture proceedings, and the extremely late production of financial records warrant reopening discovery for the purpose of obtaining non-privileged relevant information about the criminal investigation in your client's possession, as well as to permit me to depose Hannah Shin and Shirley Kim. So she's saying, you need to give us all of the information that we can't find because it's sealed, right? Because your client is a piece of shit. Your client has done everything that my client said he has. And so this right here is going to blow it all up. We're going to reopen discovery. We're going to redepose everybody. We're going to bring it all in because your client, and then why do you think this judge in this newest order completely brushed that over? Could it be that there actually was an agreement between the U.S. government and Robert Shin's $105,222 cash that was seized? Could it be that there's not going to be a civil case brought against him? Could it be that there was an agreement? Oh, sorry if that just made a bunch of noise. Could it be that there's an agreement? And there was an agreement made and he got some of his money back. And because there was an agreement made, there's a filing, but because that case is sealed, we can't see it, but the judge would be able to see it. I don't know. Why do you think the judge would just gloss that over? Makes you wonder. It makes me wonder. I don't know. She says, I may also seek to resume Mr. Shin's deposition to secure testimony about the criminal investigation and financial records he provided in September. You are correct that the court likely does not want to address the issue at this late date. Given Mr. Shin's efforts to avoid testimonial jeopardy in California, the prejudice from limited reopening appears minimal. I understand that you believe Ms. Kim and Ms. Shin are not your clients. What do you mean you believe that they're not? They're not. However, I believe that both of them are affiliated and employed by 7M insofar as their names appear throughout the financial records produced in September. I will ask the court for clarification, and if the court decides that you are not obligated to make them available, I will subpoena them as third parties. Oh, are you going to subpoena them now? No, you can't. Guess why? Because she's not reopening discovery. So sucks to be you. And you should have subpoenaed them whenever Amber Stavig told you to years back. So the fact that they want to depose Hannah Shin and Shirley Kim now, I think they thought that this whole thing with Robert Shin, he's been raided, he had money seized, he's under investigation, his, arrest is imminent, or his indictment is imminent, as Katie Joy posted and blasted all over her social medias and her YouTube. That hasn't happened. All right, let me find the next one. What's this one? I'm going to save that doozy for last. Hold on, what is this one? Okay, so let's go back to talking about the social media monetization records. I'm so confused by this. Like, it irritates me. Like, it's biting at me. The judge said, okay, yeah, 7M, you're not in compliance either. And there is correspondence showing where, let me see if this is it. Hold on. Hold on, I'm trying to find. I know I have the picture. Oh, it was the one that I had up already, and I took it down. Hold on. Ooh. Y'all, I got reading glasses for the first time, and me getting adjusted to them is pretty insane. Okay, at the bottom here, I don't think you can see my cursor, can you? No, you can't. So you see where the 4 bullet points on the bottom? Okay. So basically, this is where it's saying, okay, this is, look, we asked you, or it's in the order from January 29, 2024, that you need to, production 6, which is, we're saying that we need all your financial records regarding social media monetization. And then it says, just above those 4 bullet points, says, while I appreciate that 7M Films complete tax returns and financial statements, okay, complete tax returns and financial statements were produced in September 2025. And then she puts in parentheses, 19 months after the court order. Bitch, you haven't even provided Katie Joy's tax returns yet. But you're sitting here saying to them, oh, while I appreciate your complete tax return and financial statements, although they were 19 months late, the monetization records from Miranda and James Derrick's remain outstanding. And then it says, including, and the first bullet point, Instagram earnings / monetized paid directly or through 7M. So she's saying that it's 7M who would be getting paid. So I see why there's probably Amber Stavig's probably confused. Like, we're telling you, we've given you all of their financial records. She even acknowledged, yeah, you did. But Katie Joy says, Katie Joy, my client, is telling me that 7M was paid out. These are 7M's social media accounts, even though under sworn testimony, Miranda and James both said they own and operate their own social media accounts, right? Katie Joy is convinced that 7M owns them. So here she's saying you need to provide us. The next one is, okay, that's Instagram earnings and monetization paid directly or through 7M. TikTok earnings, monetization paid directly or through 7M. Brand partnership agreements and payments. Documentation showing how social media income flows directly to Derrick's or through 7M. So how can, it's like, okay, whatever. Like, and then I'm going to show you where, Barney, you're just going to have to wait, dude. I'm sorry, my love. I know you're annoyed. Here is correspondence, which this was part of an attachment. This is an attachment. This is part of, included in a filing. Okay. They apparently had a phone conversation. Jennifer Moore and Amber Stavig apparently had this phone conversation. And what it sounds like is Jennifer Moore completely misunderstood what the phone conversation was about. And in their correspondence back and forth, Jennifer Moore was like, "Okay, here's what we discussed," and she lists all this shit, and literally Amber Savick is like, "What? No, I didn't agree to any of that. That's not what I heard. That's not what we said, right?" I'm not going to show the whole correspondence, but I'm showing you particular points. So on this, let me see. I'm trying to lead y'all where it's at. Okay, so second paragraph in on that first page up there, it says, as discussed during our conversation, you did not request social media monetization records in discovery. Okay, so this is Amber Stavig, obviously. Your requests for production are vague and only state documents sufficient to show compensation. We complied with documents sufficient to show compensation. Your vague request does not equate to a request for social media monetization requests. During our conversation, you also stated that during their depositions, my clients, James and Miranda, were not aware of these monetization reports. I have not checked the transcript to confirm this, but your characterization of this request is wholly inaccurate. Though these specific monetization records are not required due to the vague nature of your requests, we will comply and send them to you all the same. What she's like, what do you want? And then Jennifer Moore is even saying, yeah, you've provided all financial records, but you're not providing this monetization. I'm wondering if it doesn't even exist. I was talking to somebody earlier who's very familiar with Instagram and the monetization. I'm only familiar with YouTube. I've been on YouTube several years. I understand the breakdown of monetization through YouTube. You get monetization through ads, you get it through super chats, super stickers, memberships. And it'll break it down. Like, once you get your payout, it'll break it down what your monetization is, like how you're monetized, what percentage you get from what. And they said that they don't think that there's much from Instagram or TikTok that really would have been shown. I mean, there is, don't get me wrong, but not a detailed thing more than them showing their financial records of what their income is. Does that make sense? Like they provided all their financial records for their income, which would include all this. And I see why Amber Savick is saying it's vague. And now this judge is like, yeah, it's vague. And your 7M's clients clearly, or I'm sorry, Amber Savick's clients clearly know about social media because they're huge on social media. Well, not now because of Katie Joy, they had to delete their social media accounts because of all the hate and threats they were receiving. Plain and simple. I said what I said. All right. Let me see. I want to make sure that I shared everything I want to share with that before I get into the doozy of one. Oh, tell me what y'all think of this. Tell me what y'all think of this. I want y'all's thoughts. I need y'all's thoughts. Y'all can probably read this one. So this is dated. Hold on. December 17th. Hold on. But that's when this would be an exhibit and it was filed. Maybe I have this wrong. I'm just going to read it. I may have this wrong. It was filed as an exhibit, as an attachment to this December 17th. I was thinking because it says, next, as part of our due diligence, we have become aware that Miss Derrick, in particular, has deleted a number of posts from her Instagram and TikTok pages. We ask that you provide a copy of her Instagram and TikTok archives in searchable format in order to avoid a motion alleging spoliation of evidence. So this letter actually is probably one of the ones from the summer, like in June or July, before they deactivated or deleted their accounts. I'm going to look into that. I'm sure that it is now I'm looking at it because I was thinking, wait a minute, did you write this letter in December, and you very well know that they deactivated their accounts? So are you saying now that they didn't? Okay, I think that's just an error on my end, but nonetheless, you can see how this has gone back and forth about everything. I believe this letter actually was written in June or July. There was a lot of correspondence in June or July, which is what that last letter was. This was just filed as an exhibit in December. But nonetheless, you can see how it's finally, I want to renew our request that 7M Films make Hannah Shin available for depositions. She clearly acted on behalf of the company and mineral. Okay. See, yeah, so this was before deposition. So this would have been in the summer. So disregard what I was saying about that, but you can see this just proves and just shows all of the back and forth regarding discovery. Let's see what this one is. Oh my God, y'all. I'm getting used to these glasses. They make me nauseous sometimes. Okay. So this one is from Amber Stavig. And see, here's where she says, we reject your accusation regarding supposed spoliation and non-disclosure of social media accounts. The voluntary deactivation of personal social media accounts in August 2025 was not undertaken to destroy evidence. It was a response to ongoing harassment, threats, and misuse of plaintiffs' online presence. These accounts were deactivated, not deleted. Plaintiffs have full access to their deactivated content. Plaintiffs have already confirmed that relevant content was preserved prior to deactivation, and your client, to reframe this as wholesale destruction, is both inaccurate and unsupported. Sorry, I'm having a hard time reading this. Any suggestion that plaintiffs intentionally destroyed evidence is baseless. That's like one of 3 times that she said to Jennifer Moore, we did not deactivate. This is not deactivated. Not deactivated. Okay? Not deactivated. Why this judge is like, okay, y'all need to file another one to prove it. I think it's just because, I don't know. I can't speak. I don't think I have enough knowledge to say why she did that, but she did. And now let's just say it's a good thing, because now it's going to be on, it's going to be on file. They are resubmitting new affidavits under penalty of perjury. They're going to give sworn testimony that they did not delete their accounts. Amber Stavig, from what I gather, call me crazy, I don't see Amber Stavig lying to this court about what was deleted or not deleted. I just don't see that. I don't know. Call me crazy. Okay, this is one that I wanted to hey Blake, how you doing? This is one that I wanted to go over, and I'm just going to leave it on the screen for a bit. We'll go over it in a minute. I'm just going to catch up with chat and see what's going on. Hey Sarah Lopez, you're late. That's okay. Better late than never. There's always the replay. You can hang out with us until we end. I'm just going over we went over yesterday that 7M was granted their motion to amend their complaint. They filed that already. So now that is the new, now Katie Joy has 212 statements to defend and argue instead of the original 85. It's now new in place. So now Katie Joy has a lot she needs to do, because she needs to get as many of those statements off of there that she can. That is going to be her goal. This is not good for Katie Joy. Then we saw that the judge denied her motion where she wanted to reopen discovery and extend that by an additional 60 days. Judge said no to that. The judge said, I am not taking off the attorney's eyes only stipulation, so you can just see whatever you want to see regarding their finances. No, they need to be protected. What am I missing? The judge did not. She said, I'm not awarding anybody attorney's fees here. Both of y'all are kind of annoying me. It's not good for Katie Joy. It does seem like she was a little rough towards 7M, but the main thing that, my main question is what I was just kind of going over regarding the judge saying, yeah, 7M to this date hasn't complied either. And 7M, through correspondence we've been looking at, is saying, what else do you want from me, Jennifer Moore? What else is it? Because you're confused. Like, it's vague at this point. We've given you everything. And I think it's because Katie Joy is so convinced that 7M owns all these accounts. Why aren't they seeing that income? Maybe because it doesn't exist. I don't know. Maybe I'm talking out my ass. I don't know. KJ hears what she wants to hear and twists to what she does. Exactly. Hey, Dee Dee, Mini Farm, how are you? And Blake, I see y'all came at the same time about. Good to see both of y'all. How you doing, Dee Dee? I need to catch up with you. So glad y'all are in here. Christine says she can see Jennifer Moore lying because Katie hasn't been telling the truth. Yeah, and I mean, and does that mean that that Jennifer Moore is lying intentionally? You know? Or is she lying on behalf of Katie Joy and she's taking Katie Joy's word for it? Either way, well, not either way, but if she's not, recognizing that Katie Joy could be lying to her and she's believing everything she said, I mean, that shows incompetence to me. 4 mini foals born this year? Why don't I ever see? I need to go check that because I don't ever get. Do you have a trash be getting notifications when you stream? Y'all, mini horses. Are y'all into me? I'm into mini everything. Anything that lives, unless it's a snake. A mini snake is a better snake for me, right? Like an unborn snake, actually. But yeah, she has mini horses. She breeds them. Hey, little bit. I hope you're having a good Friday too. It's Friday, isn't it? I never know my days of the week. Y'all, we're going to my little buddy. She stays with me a lot. It's my best friend's daughter. She stays with me a lot during the summer. She's a teenager now, but she doesn't have that attitude like most do. She might towards her parents. She doesn't towards me. But next week, I'll probably go live on Monday so we can go over where we stopped yesterday because I've already been on almost 2 hours. So I'm going to end it after we read this. But next week, I think I get her on Tuesday, and I'll have her throughout the week and hopefully through the weekend. But I'm going to be taking her to the water park next week. I'm so freaking excited. We're going to go roller skating. We've got little projects that we love to do together, little shopping excursions we do. We have these little fun things that we do together. So I'm so excited. So I'll probably come on Monday since I won't be on the rest of the week. So yeah, today's Friday. I don't know how I lost track of time. This has been fun. Good. Yeah, I want you to see Unitopia, what she says in this letter. So whenever you come back, that'll be the ending. Because once I go through that, we're going to be done here. 19 inches at birth and still very, very small. I love miniature horses. Those minis are stubborn. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this quick. I know y'all can't read it on your end unless you're able to like really blow it up somehow, but okay, I'm going to repin that a bit because it's over this. But I've got it on my phone. Let me grab my glasses. What I wanted to show. Okay. So this is dated. Now this is the actual letter. You can see it up top. This is dated June 6th of 2024. There was a lot of correspondence back and forth. I think what I showed in that last one was probably from July, if not, it would have been the end of June. So you can see that they're trying to iron out all the stuff as ordered by the judge. They were never able to get through it. And let me just show you, y'all. This infuriated me. Yeah, I bet you some of my dogs are bigger than her minis too. Let me just read this to you. This is fucking awful, y'all. Dear Miss Stavig, I have yet to receive a response from you regarding the scheduling of depositions for Hannah, Shin, and Shirley Kim. It is my understanding that you refuse to accept service for them because they are not your clients. This is not a legally sufficient answer. Huh. Funny. Because a year and a half later, almost 2 years later, the judge kind of disagrees. Both appear to do work for your corporate client, 7M Films. Ms. Kim was listed in your discovery responses as assisting in their preparation. Ms. Kim is listed on the California Secretary of State website as its registered agent. We have copies of emails showing that Ms. Shin was dealing directly with the dancers on behalf of 7M Films. Okay, guess what? Should have taken care of this when you had the opportunity. You said you wanted to depose them. You never did. You still had an opportunity, whatever. Okay. We have copies of emails. Okay, wait. I already read that. In short, there is no legal theory that supports your position, and we should not have to domesticate a subpoena to arrange for a personal service. Well, yeah, you kind of did need to, but anyways, if you do not communicate to me, listen to this. This is the shit right here. I don't look. I worked for an attorney for several years. I don't recall ever intercepting correspondence from another attorney to the attorney that I worked for, such as this. I never recall ever drafting anything such as this. Okay. That, I mean, again, I was in a different area of law. This is several years back. Okay. But it's just bullshit. She says, in short, there is no legal theory that supports your position, and we should not have to domesticate a subpoena and arrange for personal service. If you do not communicate to me by the end of business on June 10th, 2024, and this is dated June 6th, 2024, you will accept service, I will arrange for domesticated service of a subpoena upon them and charge the cost to you. I understand. Okay, this is it. This is what I wanted you to hear. This is Katie Joy's attorney speaking to 7M's attorney. I understand that you are being treated for thyroid cancer, but you agreed to the discovery deadlines, and I will have these 2 depositions. Do I need to repeat that? Hey, how are you, Kareem Burke? Did I say that right? Hey. Thank you, Blake, for posting that. I always forget to put the link. Blake has put the link here. I will put it back up because I think it's covering what I'm showing. I'm going to put a couple things that Blake has put in here. Thank you, Blake. Why Moore took Katie's case. She must have been drawing the short straw. Exactly. I mean, it's like, oh, is Tennessee Nana in here? Hey, late but here. So this bit my ass earlier whenever I was looking through correspondence. Hang on, I got to mute real quick so I can adjust. Hold on. Apparently, whenever I move a certain way, it sounds like as somebody said, hundreds of elephants running around in the background. Barney, I know, buddy. It's like he knows when it's been 2 hours. Now he's sitting here staring at me. He did this yesterday, and I went over 2 hours. So after those 2 hours. What was it, 2.5 for the last 30 minutes? He stared at me. This bit my ass because I was like, okay, I want to see the correspondence regarding the social media monetization. Like I was like, I know that I remember them talking about it. I remember 7M saying, what else do you want? Like you could tell frustration, right? And I came across this letter again, and I can't believe that I forgot all about this. I'm sure I did a video on it. Katie Joy's business is listed under Graham Martin in his business address. Her LLC is. Well, he might, if it's an LLC, he might be listed as one of the managers. Which for LLCs, you do that. I wouldn't be surprised by that. Like when I had my LLCs, I might have had my attorney listed, honestly. Hey, Suzanne, how are you? Look, and we're blessed with y'all. We were talking about you recently because we had a question about, something obviously to do with, I think it might have been with the Duggars and all that. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Hope you and your husband are doing well. I was just sharing this, Suzanne. This is Katie Joy's attorney speaking to 7M's attorney. This was back in June of 2024. We just went over the filings and stuff. I went back to reference correspondence between the parties that were submitted as attachments and whatnot, because I wanted to kind of just put two and two together. And I came across this, and this is what I'm ending with. You're better. Good to hear. Good to hear. I really don't even know, Suzanne, the last time that I spoke with you or was caught up on what's going on. So I hope everything's okay. So I might have missed something, but glad you're here. Thank you for joining. All right. So I'm going to read it again. She demands that, and I understand that, like you say, okay, look, usually it's, I'd appreciate to have a response by, the end of business day on June 10th, 2024. No, instead she says, if you do not communicate to me by the end of business on June 10th, 2024, that you will accept service, I will arrange for domesticated service of a subpoena upon them to the and charge the cost to you. Well, we know that never happened. We see now that that's never going to happen. But again, this is 2024. But here's what gets me. It just pisses me off because I personally think, and I'm not just saying this because I'm clearly anti-Katie Joy. When it comes to this, I know, right, Suzanne, it is laughable. It's funny. When it comes to this, I have to keep an open mind because, there's the court of law and there's the opinion, right? So it's like we have to keep in mind that the judge knows what the judge knows because the judge sees what the judge sees. We have all this. I mean, Suzanne has known Katie Joy probably the longest out of anybody of the OGs in here, and how she operates because she dealt with her firsthand. And y'all, I don't know. I can't with how all of this has just how she's dealt with all of this. But I don't think we're surprised, right? And so we know all these things. We know how she operates. We know who she is. But the judge, has to look at it from a different standpoint. And I have to appreciate that. And I have to keep an open mind to all of it. And when I say that I feel that Amber Stavig has operated with good faith throughout all of this, I absolutely believe that. And I'm not just saying that because, and I was asking somebody else earlier who's able to stay very in the middle, very open-minded to it too. She's anti-Katie Joy, but I'll bounce stuff off of her. And she brought it up too and said, look, it's not just because we're against Katie Joy. Amber Stavig has absolutely worked in good faith in this. And then, so we were talking about that. And then I came across this letter and I was like, what the fuck? Okay. So then the next line is, if you don't communicate with me, I'm gonna have to do this. I will arrange for domesticated service. Okay. I understand that you are being treated for thyroid cancer, but you agreed to the discovery deadlines and I will have these 2 depositions. In fact, if I have to have this service domesticated, I will procure a subpoena for Isaiah Shin and will look at deposing some of the other dancers who were working with 7M Films at the time the statements in the complaint were made. Since they have evidence relevant to statements you claim my client made about housing arrangements, tithing, dance choreography, and wardrobe that your client believes were defamatory. I have reviewed your discovery responses. I note that your clients provided discovery only up to the date that discovery requests were served. Minnesota Civil Procedure 26.5 imposes a continuing obligation upon parties to provide updated discovery upon the receipts of new information. At the very least, that would require your client to provide 2021, 2022, and 2023 tax returns. Again, this has all been provided, but I just wanted to show you what kind of shit has gone back and forth in their correspondence. If I do not receive this information prior to the depositions in this matter, dispositive motions in this matter will include a motion to dismiss. Okay, fine. So, she threatens, in all the correspondence that we've seen, there is so much threatening. And there's even a point where Amber Stavig is like, I'm tired of your threats. Stop threatening me with this and with that. Like, grow up. It's been unreal. There's even been a statement somewhere, maybe somebody in here will remember exactly, where Katie Joy basically said Amber Stavig was faking her cancer. It's unreal to me. Absolutely unreal. I just, like I said, when I worked for an attorney as a paralegal, I don't think I ever would have seen something like this. And let's say that the attorney I worked for was fighting cancer, being treated for cancer. I can never imagine an opposing attorney writing something like this. It upset me a lot. And and it's something that again, I forgot about, because this is from 2024, even though it was, put in recent filings as an exhibit. Anyways, that, so yesterday we went over, let me see if I have it pulled up. Yeah, I do. So yesterday we went through, I think we were 7 minutes in. Let's see. We went through, I have, look, her forehead's so big I could fit the number. And they get money. We started to go through all of the statements. So now that this new order, all right, now that this, now there's a new summons, right? We're going by this new complaint, and there's 212 statements. I have gotten about 175 of them, and we're going to go through all of them. And yesterday we started, and we got to number 17 or something. So now that I think there's going to be, it is terribly unprofessional, isn't it? I've worked for about 12 lawyers, never assume they are smart. Oh, I don't, Savari Scarlett. I worked for a very smart one. Incredibly smart, but exactly. But I've also known people that are attorneys, and I'm like, how the hell did you even pass the bar? I'm just looking at chat right now. The wording sounds so much like Katie's. I mean, as she likes to say, what was her big thing? A bird of a feather flock together. I mean, I guess her and her attorney are one and the same. Same goes for physicians. Yep. Yeah, Ruth Carroll. And this, if you look at the picture that's on the screen now, that would have been from 2022. So we're going to go over all of them, and it's probably good that we kind of got a break, because I'm going to be gone. Like I said, I won't probably be online unless something is filed that's really important. Then if it's downtime and she and I are here and we're not doing anything, I might hop on and just talk real quick about it, but I'm not going to get on and just go through all the old statements that are now in the complaint, because this is bad for Katie Joy, in my opinion. And she hasn't said much about it, if you haven't noticed. Why would she? She was wrong about Robert Shin. This is what happens whenever you are just so stuck on your beliefs that you're the only one that's right and that you're the only one that knows what's going on. You're so convinced that Robert Shin's going to be arrested and he's going to be charged with all these horrible crimes that you go on News Nation, you make videos, and you literally say he is operating a sex trafficking ring, that he is trafficking Miranda, that you call him a serial rapist, all of the things. Now, when this goes to trial and he is not indicted, he's not charged, none of this happens, never arrested, and he can sit there up on the stand and say what the federal raid did to him, what this investigation did to him. Miranda and James can talk about how their whole lives have been affected. Their whole careers were ruined because of Katie Joy. This isn't going to be good for her. Now, instead of those original 85 statements, they have all the statements where she said all of those other things. Where she, every time that she calls Miranda a liar, every time that she says that Robert Shin is running these operations, that he is involved in this criminal activity and that criminal activity, that's going to be heard by a jury. It is not, in my opinion, going to go well for her. Now look, do I think all 212 of those statements are going to be granted to go to the jury? I mean, Katie Joy is going to file a motion to dismiss, and that is, and the point of that is going to be to dismiss some of these statements, drop some of these statements, right? That's her right to do. I'm sure she'll file a summary judgment, same like she did before. But these statements are the same context. These statements are done from the same social media platforms that the others were, that the judge ruled upon. Therefore, in my opinion, I mean, you can never say and forecast what will happen, but in my opinion, if they're the same, the judge is going to rule the same. So some of them will be dismissed, some of them will be booted. But I bet around 200 of these, it's called 80 or so, will go to the jury. So for this amended complaint to be granted, which is typical. I mean, unless she would have, like I said, if she would have done something and been completely out of the realm, where she would have tried to add, speaking of Amber Sabig, if she would have tried to add new parties to this complaint or anything like that, it would have been shut down. So again, we're at a good place now because I think what's been filed is going to be filed. Katie Joy has until August 31st to file her dispositive motions, or motion is how the judge put it. I keep saying plural. I don't know why. And Miranda and James have, 20 days, I think, for them to submit their new sworn affidavits regarding their social media accounts and whether it was deactivated versus deleted. And this judge wants this to go to trial. She denied Katie Joy's request to have discovery reopened. She denied Katie Joy's request for confirmation from a higher court through the appellate court. So this isn't good for Katie Joy. She should go to prison for a multitude of reasons, but making false claims to spark a raid has got to be illegal. There's no level too low for her trying to get Robert Shin imprisoned. Agreed, Lulu. I mean, when it comes to when people say she needs to be in jail, I get it. We're angry. But when it comes to all this civil stuff and all that, yeah, I mean, obviously that's not going to happen. If they're, it's really raining. If they're able to prove that Katie Joy that her incitement, by her inciting people to contact the FBI, local law enforcement there, if they're able to prove that that was part of the raid and there was an expense behind that, think about what it did to Robert Shin. They broke down his front. Did you see the gate that they destroyed? The gate was destroyed. A big, huge, floor to ceiling, double story window, I believe, was busted out. There was a baby there. Shirley has a baby. And she was holding the baby in her arms. I mean, the stress behind that, I can't even imagine. And then Katie Joy made fun of her and the baby. And I do know that those screenshots of her Instagram posts or her stories are in evidence. And we're going to see that, are part of the 212 statements. And we're going to see that when we get through them. So I'll be back Monday. We'll start at 17, chat, catch up on whatever, answer any questions we have. We'll kind of bounce off each other. And then when I come back, probably that following Monday, we'll just continue it. So you guys have a great rest of your weekend. I appreciate all of you. She is absolutely wasting resources, Ruth Carroll. I appreciate all of you being here. I support the channel. I support the channel. I appreciate you supporting the channel. Please hit that thumbs up on the way out. If you have not, please stop by and leave a comment if you don't mind. That helps with the channel. And that way, if we get back up in the algorithm, I think more people will get notified whenever I do go live. So hit that thumbs up, leave a comment, all that good stuff. Subscribe. If you haven't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. You can do that as well. Have a great rest of your day. It is raining really hard here, so I'm going to have one of those rainy days doing nothing. And enjoy your weekend. And I will plan to come live on Monday. It might be later than this time. I was up at 5 a.m. Next thing I know, it's 9:30, and I'm like, what? I got to go live in 30 minutes. But we'll see. I will post it. You'll see. It's probably better if I just keep it consistent and do it at 10 a.m. I did that yesterday. I did it today. So thank you, Bean. Appreciate you. Bye, Blake. Bye, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Great weekend. I'll see you on Monday, y'all.
It don't take a crystal ball to know how some stories end. When someone keeps saying opinions like facts, the courts start listening. Southern mutton don't predict nothing, we just watch and write it down. Don't need a crystal ball to see it coming back around. When you state it like a fact and never check it first. Southern mutton watch it close from the courthouse ground. True stay patient while the paper getting worse. Same routine, new headline phone. Same bold claims that the record don't want. She speak real loud, no maybe, no seems. Turn opinions into facts like the courtroom clean. I ain't wishing nothing, I just seen the signs. When the words outrun proof, it's a matter of time. History repeat when you don't learn yet. Courts don't care what you meant, just what you said. When confidence louder than evidence be, that's when patterns start explaining things to me. Don't need a crystal ball to see it coming back around. When you speak like a verdict before the truth's found. Southern mutton in the case, boots firm on the tile. We don't chase drama, we just watch the file, yeah. Country rap calm, I don't glow to grin. I just read the docket when it rolled back in. She called it truth, called it just how it is. But courts draw lines where the talking ends. I ain't psychic, I'm observing. Facts don't bend cause a voice is urgent. From testimony tone to the written page. Same outcome when the pattern don't change. Lies like speed, truth like distance. One burns fast, one keeps existing on. Lies like speed, truth like distance. One burns fast, one keeps existing. Don't need a crystal ball, don't need belief. When the law still runs on proof and receipts. Southern mutton watching through the courtroom glass. Pointing out lies as they saying it's facts, yeah. prophecy. This ain't hate. Just history watching itself repeat. When words get reckless, the courts get busy. And the truth always shows up right on time.